Welcome to the Disney Parks Podcast with your hosts, Tony Casanova from DisneyByTheNumbers.com and Krista Joy from DisneyWays.com. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. And get ready for the Disney Parks Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. We are so excited that you tuned in today to the Disney Parks Podcast. We've got news on Disneyland's 60th anniversary, great, big, giant news from Tokyo Disney Resort this week, and all kinds of other stuff, too. But first, Tony's going to share about our next meetup.
All right, folks, we are having another meetup. This time, we are actually going to go outside of a building. We are going to meet at the Magic Kingdom at 3 p.m. on Saturday, November 15th, to play the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game. If you've never played or you're an expert, everybody should come out and join us on Saturday, November 15th. We're going to have a good time, and you can watch me make a fool of myself trying to play this game. Bring your cards, don't bring your cards, whatever you want to do. It's up to you, but I think you should all mark your calendars, come out to the park, meet us at the Magic Kingdom Firehouse at 3 p.m. Saturday, November 15th, and we are going to play Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom.
And now, Disney Parks Podcast News.
Sounds like good times.
It's going to be so fun. And we do have some awesome goodie bags and goodies. They are sponsored by Megan Novak this time. So thank you, Megan, from Big Ear Adventures for sponsoring the goodie bags. We appreciate that. So next up, I wanted to tell you guys about my exciting weekend. This weekend, I had the chance to meet Ken Page, the voice of Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm going to share something here on the podcast that I'm not going to share anywhere else. This place where I met him was called Spooky Empire, and it was basically a convention for people that love horror movies and zombies. And things like that, which if you know me, that's totally not my thing. So I just want you to know that I went to this thing. I was petrified. It was very traumatic for me, but I did it for you guys because I wanted to get an interview with Ken, and I, luckily enough, got one about, a little recorded interview. So we're going to figure out a way to post that so you guys can hear it. And he is so sweet. What a wonderful, wonderful man. Just precious. I just wanted to squeeze him and take him home.
It wasn't held in a dungeon, was
no,
it? Okay.
Nope. It was in the Universal DoubleTree over by Universal Studios. So yeah, totally went over to the dark side to meet Ken, but he was worth it. And in other great news, he autographed a photo for us. And if you are subscribed to our newsletter, you got the last newsletter in your email. So make sure you check that, because one of our newsletter winners is going to win that or one of our newsletter subscribers is going to win that autographed picture. So make sure you open up your newsletter that you just got and enter to win. So that was my big weekend with Ken Page, the voice of Oogie Boogie. He was awesome, and I hope to get that interview up for you guys soon so you can hear it.
Yeah, that'll be good. I had a pretty exciting weekend as well. Actually, we both had a pretty good Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then I topped my Sunday off with a visit to the Four Seasons new restaurant, Kappa, which is on the 17th floor of the hotel. This is definitely the icing on the Four Seasons cake, because this is a gorgeous restaurant. It sits on top of the 17th floor with awesome views of the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, studios. You can see everything from up there. You can see downtown Orlando. With a clear view, you can see downtown Orlando. It's a great place. We missed, because we were eating, we missed illuminations because you can see the ball and you can see the lagoon. So we missed that, but we were able to catch hollow wishes from that view over the Magic Kingdom. And it's, if you've ever been to Top of the World, it's similar to that view. You're at that kind of angle, but you're just a lot further away, obviously, if you know where the Four Seasons is. But let's get to the good part, the food. This restaurant is a Spanish steakhouse, and they have everything from a rack of lamb. They have an 8-ounce filet. They have a bone-in filet. They have a New York strip, a bone-in ribeye, and then a porterhouse for 2. They have a couple of non-meat options, and I can't even say a lot. There's halibut, snapper. I had a paella, and then they also have another small entree, which is sausage, lentils, and potatoes, Brussels sprouts, and saffron. They have some nice small salads. They have some tapas things. So this is another place also to go to the lounge or the bar, have some tapas, sit outside, and just take in the wonderful Florida weather that we've been having lately. They have a great, huge mixology menu for drinks and stuff like that, with a whole bunch of interesting things. They make these special drinks with botanicals, so it almost smells floral when you go to, when you get a little sniffy sniff, you're getting a little floral scent while you're drinking your gin and tonic. It's very interesting stuff. If you go to Disney by the Numbers on Facebook, I have pictures of some of the views, the menus, and most of the food that we ate too. I'm also going to tell you that I don't think they've announced this yet, so we're kind of giving you a little sneak peek. For New Year's Eve, they have some special dining going on at Kappa. They have 2 sit-downs. So the first one will be a prefix dinner menu. The first seating will be 3 courses, and that'll be $145 per person. And then the second seating will be 5 courses, and that'll be $295 per person. These also include access to their, I'm using my air quotes here, after party that they will be holding. Right now, reservations are only open for resort guests. So if you have a reservation for New Year's Eve time frame, you're able to book one of these 2 seatings right now, and then it'll be open to the public in the next week or so. So stay tuned for more information on that. I'd love to try and get over there. I'm not sure if $145 or $295. It's in my New Year's Eve budget, but we'll have to see how that goes.
Normally you do California Grill for New Year's, right?
We've been doing different restaurants in a resort. We learned our mistake 4 years ago of trying to go actually to the Magic Kingdom. I can't say it was a mistake. We had New Year's Eve dinner at Be Our Guest at 9 o'clock at night, and then we just got trapped in the Magic Kingdom. And it took us a very long time to get out, and then even longer to get off the property. Then we made a silly mistake the following year. We had dinner at Casino, but then we went to the studios to watch the fireworks, and that was just as bad. So our new MO is we just go to a resort. We've been to Artist Point, and we have a reservation for Yachtsman Steakhouse this year, and we may just stay there and do our thing and then get off the property, because it's crazy. It's they shut down roads and they direct everybody over to Osceola Parkway to try and get off property on New Year's Eve, and I don't know why. I don't know why they don't open up World Drive and Epcot Center Drive, but they just do these crazy things. So you'll find out more when we actually do it. We'll come and talk about the whole thing.
Yeah.
We'll have Sarah Donahue back on. She usually comes, and some other people. It's now, I think, up to 8 of us. So.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, the traveling banshee on New Year's Eve. All right, in other news, Walt Disney World announced that the Swan and Dolphin is getting a $125 million redesign. So every guest room will receive a new design in the 758-room Swan, and then all the rooms, 1,509, in the Dolphin Hotel will all be redone. The new room design is inspired by the resort's water-themed architecture, and the goal is to create a serene and sophisticated atmosphere. New guest rooms will feature upgraded furniture and technologies, including large HD TVs, more power outlets. Who doesn't want more of those? They'll include the Westin Heavenly Bed with a pillow-top mattress set and down blanket. Let me tell you, if you've never slept in one of these Heavenly Beds, you are in for a treat because they are gorgeous. You will not get up out of bed to go to the park. I'm just saying that right now. You will not get out of bed. You will be in bed all day, all night. They are gorgeous. The new bathroom will include a backlit mirror mounted on iridescent glass tiles. I also, they're saying in this announcement that the resort is 25 years old. I did not know it was that old.
Wow.
Did you know it was 25 years old?
Well, I just remember it being there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's amazing.
Yeah. So the project starts at the Swan Hotel with approximately 500 of the 756 rooms by the end of 2014. The first phase of the Dolphin Hotels will begin in 2015, with the entire room project currently scheduled to be completed by the end of 2016. All public spaces, restaurants, meeting rooms, shops, pools, and recreation areas are not changing, and they will remain fully operational through the renovation. So, if you're coming down for a visit, see if you can get a new room because you may be in for a heavenly bed treat.
That sounds great. So on that note, we'll go ahead and head over to Disneyland in California. Randy sent us some Disneyland news. Randy, remember, is from faithinthemagickingdom.com. Thank you, Randy, for sending this over. Randy says mouseplanet.com reports that Disney has released the refurbishment schedule for projects starting before January 12th, 2015, and it definitely impacts anyone planning a trip in the first few months of the year. So I'm really glad you guys are listening in today. If anybody's planning a trip to California for the beginning of 2015, this is for you. So the schedule also fuels the rumor that Tony brought up last week about Luigi's flying tires. I was going to say tigers, but I don't think they have flying tigers.
That's it.
California. So, all right. So this is the most noticeable closure, an 11-month refurbishment of the Cars Land attraction at Disney California Adventure. So he's talking about Luigi's flying tigers. Disney has yet to address rumors that the ride will be torn out and replaced with a new attraction, but the company clearly plans some major change that requires the ride to be closed for almost a year. Randy says, I enjoy the ride and never had a problem getting the tires to move, but clearly something is in the works here. Next up, Soarin' over California is scheduled to close January 1st through May 14th, which is a lengthy refurbishment that points to the long-awaited installation of digital projectors and possibly the debut of a new film rumored to be in production. That's exciting. World of Color will close January 7th through March 12th for refurbishment of the show platform and, again, possibly programming of a new show. Over at Disneyland, preparations for the 60th anniversary seem to begin January 12th, with several lengthy refurbishments starting as soon as the holiday decorations disappear. The timing is unfortunate for those coming to town for the inaugural Star Wars Half Marathon weekend events scheduled for January 15 through 18. And one interesting project takes place before Christmas. That's going to be the December 1st through 18th closure of Storybook Land Canal boats and Casey Jr. Circus Train. So a lot going on at Disneyland, you know, kind of like how we've been here at Disney World, just so many exciting changes and updates and different things, you know, coming down the pike. So that's your Disneyland news. Thank you, Randy, for sending that in.
At least they're getting a taste of our construction that we've been enduring over here. Speaking of rehab, you know, we said that the Sorcerer's Hat at the studios was possibly going away. And I think that's a pretty solid rumor at this point.
Oh, Disney announced it. It's a fact.
So here's the question. Do you want to see it go away completely, or would you like to see them move it? I'm hearing that they're going to take the hat down and they're going to put it in the front of the park where kind of that topiary is in front of the boat area. You know where the boat and the buses are? There's that little topiary circle. I hear that's possibly where the hat is going to go. And I don't think it would be bad there. I don't mind it there. I think it would open up that view that we were intended to see. You'll get that Hollywood feel without seeing a stupid hat and a stage at the end. If they put it in the front of the park, I think I'm okay with that. Right? That seems to make a little bit more sense.
I would be okay with that too. I really feel like this is not about opening up for the view of the Chinese theater as much as I would like it to be. I don't think it's about that. I think it's got something to do with Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars, Pixar plays, all that stuff,
Yeah. There's going to be stuff happening, big stuff soon. Yeah. I've noticed usually Disney makes these announcements on Fridays, like Friday afternoon, Friday evening. So, check your phone while you're at work and see if, they made any big announcements, because it sounds like there's going to be some things happening soon. So.
Yeah, that's so the social media people could go away for the weekend and not worry about it. They don't care. Yeah. The rumor's out. Everybody go away. Right. Hey, I also heard, and I don't think we had this posted anywhere in our notes here, I think it was November 20th. They're going to open up the Downtown Disney parking garage. I think one day for cast members as a test. And then that Sunday, they were going to open up some of the levels to the public. We don't think the whole garage is going to be open, or all levels. I think they're just doing some testing. So if you're around that weekend for Thanksgiving or whatever, maybe you want to take your car over to Downtown Disney and see if it doesn't fall through the concrete levels they've been building.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. So here's what the Orlando Sentinel said. I don't know if this is exactly what you said, Tony, probably, but visitors to Downtown Disney can start using the complex's first new parking garage on November 20th. And the garage is going to open for a trial run just for employees only on Sunday. And then additional levels will open up for the general public 2.5 weeks after that. So it sounds like it'll be December before those of us in the general public can park in the garage, even if we want to. They haven't announced that they're going to be charging for parking, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. I hope they don't, because, there's shops at Downtown Disney. People are going to spend money. They don't really need to, charge us parking. I really hope they don't do that.
I'm going to have to say the complete opposite, Krista. Somebody's going to have to pay for that concrete, and that's us guests. It's going to happen. So that's, if you'd like to see what the inside of the garage is going to be like before they start charging you, I'd probably get over there in this time frame, because my guess is once it's all complete, and I think the thing that will have to be complete first is a connection from I-4 to the parking garage. Once that's complete, then they'll have the toll plazas in place, and you'll be paying to park. So that's my guess, if I was a betting man. All right, so Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and if you are coming to Walt Disney World here in Florida, there are tons and tons of places that will serve you Thanksgiving turkey food like you've never seen before. We're going to post a long list of restaurants in the show notes of every place that you can get a Thanksgiving type dinner. I'm not going to go through the whole list here because you'd be bored to death just listening to me. But there are more than 30 different places on property that you can get a Thanksgiving lunch or dinner. And they range from, sit-down dinners to quick service to, all kinds of choices. If you are coming here, please know that there are choices. If you really want to celebrate Thanksgiving and have a Thanksgiving dinner, there are ways of doing it. If you have a DVC, well, then you have your own kitchen and you can cook whatever you want.
Yeah, so my guess is you want to call 407-WDW-DINE to get, make sure you can get a reservation at your favorite place. Don't just try to show up, just in case. So you'll definitely have one. Call ahead. ahead, make that reservation.
Yeah, do remember that this is also one of the busy weeks besides Christmas week. Attendance is high. If you haven't made one by now, you're probably going to have to settle for choice number 3 or 4 or 5 on your list, because 1, 2, and 3 are probably going to be gone by now. I know I booked mine 180 days out, and I still didn't get a very appetizing time for dinner. I mean, my dinner's like at 9:30 at night, and that's 180 days out.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking now 30. You're probably going to not get the cream of the crop. But give them a call. Also, some places will take a walk-up. Some places won't, because they're just that busy. I know California Grill on Thanksgiving won't take any walk-ups. I can tell you that right now, having tried to do that. Okay, on to other news. I think this is interesting, and I guess I'm kind of surprised this hasn't happened earlier. There's been a lot of testing going on with this, and I know they were testing with cast members, they were testing with guests. Everybody seemed like a test crash dummy for this. But now, the attractions that have photos, you can now just walk out and have your photo on your Magic Band. Now, I'm not sure how they're matching up people with Magic Bands. I'm not sure of how they're doing that. But apparently, if you have an active Magic Band and you go on a Walt Disney World attraction, your photo will automatically be associated to your My Disney Experience account. You don't have to do anything. Just the fact that you've worn your Magic Band on one of the participating attractions, even in the last 45 days, you should be able to find those photos in your account. Is that crazy?
Well, this is what it's been about from the beginning. So there's sensors around the park. So the whole point of this has been to try to make things more convenient. And up to now, there's been a lot of bugs and a lot of fixing things and stuff like that. But we're finally getting to a point, it looks like, where this is going to be kind of a thing. So it's a little scary, but it's exciting at the same time.
They've turned on new touch points at the Magic Kingdom Park for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, Space Mountain, and Splash Mountain. So after you ride, you simply find your photo on the preview wall and touch your park ticket, your memory maker card to the touch point to associate your photo. They expect to have a bunch of touch points installed at Epcot, Disney Studios, Animal Kingdom by mid-November. So that'll finish the rollout. Beginning soon, guests wearing active Magic Bands will have the attraction videos automatically associated to their accounts. And videos are currently available for the Mine Train and the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I've seen these videos, and they're actually pretty interesting, because I think the Mine Train one is a couple of different cameras. It's not a singular camera view. So you get a couple different angles of you on the attraction. Also, make sure that if you do go to the park, you only have 45 days to view, purchase, buy, save, whatever you want to do with that photos. After 45 days, Disney will wipe them clean. So you won't be able to go back and get them. Once they're gone, they're gone. I don't think Disney, I know people in the past have, if you call Photo Pass and you tell them a certain day or year or month or whatever in time, they were able to pull up those things. I don't think they're going to be able to do that on this, because now, remember, they are keeping thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. Almost everybody that goes on the attraction, photo is now kept for 45 days. So that's a lot of more data. I can see this 45 window really creeping up on people fast. If anybody has done this or seen this, we'd love to hear from you. If you've done the videos, I'd really like to hear from you. You can email us at DisneyParksPodcast@gmail.com. Just put video in the subject line so we know what you're talking about. And maybe you'd like to share it with us, and we can post them on the blog and show other people what those videos look like.
Pretty neat. Well, it sounds like, we don't have to do anything except log into our account, and one day there's going to be videos in there, which just freaks me out a little bit. But it's good, though. It's technology. That's where we're headed, so...
Soon there'll be videos of us shopping in the stores, and there'll be videos of having dinner. There'll be, camera shots of us on Main Street watching the parade.
Yeah, well, there already are. Just they're not available to the public.
Yeah, maybe there will be. Maybe security will share all the photos with us as they track us through the park.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Well, I wanted to share with you guys that there's actually a really cool option if you've got a large group or a big family headed out here to Disney World. With over 300 Orlando vacation homes to offer and over 15 years of experience, vacationhomebooking.com is certain to find the perfect Disney area home for your family vacation. All vacation homes feature your own private screened-in swimming pool, and many have a community clubhouse, Olympic-sized pools, jacuzzis, fitness center, and much, much more. So why rent 2 hotel rooms? Our thanks to the sponsor of this episode, vacationhomebooking.com. And this week, I am so excited, you guys, to bring you some really big news from Tokyo Disney. I want to thank Chris, our friend over at tdrexplorer.com, for this information. If you love Tokyo Disney, Chris is a Canadian living in Tokyo, and he has this awesome blog that he posts to quite often to keep us updated. So here's the big news. Are you ready? Here we go. Tokyo Disney Resort expansions have been announced. This is hot news as of this recording today, October 30th. Oriental Land Company has made a huge announcement for their future plans for further development of Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. This includes a 500 billion yen investment over the next 10 years. They will finally see a Fantasyland expansion and a new themed land at Tokyo Disney Sea, along with some other improvements to the parks. The land will be doubled in size, along with major new attractions, restaurants, and shops. They're also going to take out some of Tomorrowland, but Toontown will stay intact. So that'll be a little different than here, where we don't have Toontown anymore. The plan for Tokyo Disneyland Park centers on the redevelopment of Fantasyland, which will nearly double the size of the themed land. Work on implementing this large-scale area development has already begun. In addition to the renovation of the existing Fantasyland, major new attractions, restaurants, and shops will be included. Oriental Land Company has not shared any specifics to what will be going in the new Fantasyland, but we know all this great stuff is coming. With the development of a new themed port at Disney Sea in the expansion site located south of the Lost River Delta, this is going to be an 8th themed port. It's going to include major new attractions, restaurants, and shops. And again, there's no big specifics, but there was more news about the Mediterranean harbor in regards to the construction that's taking place there. The harbor is going to be getting a moving stage along with more seating. This is so exciting. So there hasn't been any word as to when any of this fun stuff is going to be completed. This is a huge announcement for Tokyo Disney Resort, however. And Chris is excited. He says, I wonder what will be going into Fantasyland, perhaps something to do with Frozen. What about the new land in Disney Sea? I guess time will tell. So this is really fun. This is huge news for Tokyo. They're growing, they're expanding. So we can all take heart, that if you haven't been able to get out there yet, maybe in the future is going to be an even better time to go. So we should set our goals and start saving our pennies and get ready to head out to Tokyo for this amazing, amazing expansion that's going to be taking place. What do you think, Tony? Are you excited?
I think we need to postpone our trip. Until this is done, because doubling the size, it sounds great. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the details once they start rolling them out. What the attractions are, and the theming that they're going to go for.
Yes, so stay tuned to Disney Parks Podcast, because we'll be bringing you all that as we receive it. So it's exciting stuff. Yeah,
it's nice having 2 people that live there.
Yes, we love our correspondence. You guys, we appreciate you so much. It means the world to us. So thank you, Chris and Trish. We appreciate you guys.
So we mentioned early in the show that me and Krista went to an event on this past Saturday. We went to the D23 Faniversary. Krista, what do you think? Did you have a good time?
I did. I enjoyed it.
Was this your first D23 Faniversary event?
This was. I absolutely went into it blind. I had no idea what to expect. But we walked in and there was just basically audience chairs and a big screen in the front. And, you just kind of chilled out there and watched the presentation. And it was, pretty interactive. They gave away some prizes. Right. It was so fun. So tell me your take on the whole thing, Tony, because you've been to other ones.
Yeah, I've been to most of them. And I like this because I always get to see something that I've never seen before, or learn about something that I never knew before. So these are kind of like an educational event for, a Disney historian like myself who likes to know the history and how they made these things and why they made these things and how it, evolved from this to that. So I really, I like to see, anytime I can see video of Walt Disney, I'm ecstatic. And they showed some stuff from the world of color. To see Walt doing that, almost kind of out of his comfort zone, it seemed. I don't think my impression or my opinion is, I don't think he always enjoyed being on television. I think he enjoyed doing it to tell people about these new things that he was creating, but I don't think that was his comfort zone to be on television. That was cool. They had some great photos and things from the World's Fair that I haven't seen. Unfortunately, at this event, we couldn't take any audio, no video, and no pictures. So we got nothing but our memory to go by. And once that's gone, once my Alzheimer's sinks in, it's nothing but a past event. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I do want to mention, if you follow me on Instagram, I took a picture just of the screen in the front of the room right before they made the announcement that we weren't allowed to take photos. So there's nothing unauthorized or nothing, scandalous there that you're going to see. But I did get one little picture of the screen. So if you want to check that out, I'm at Disney Ways on Instagram. Sorry, D23.
So you were the woman taken out in handcuffs.
I'm the scandalous one that, I took pictures when I wasn't supposed to, but just one. Yeah. There was an accident, I swear.
They did let us take a picture at the end. You could get your picture taken with an award called a Ducky. And
Duckster.
And the original hat from Mary Poppins. So you couldn't touch it, but you could stand next to it. And that I did. And I think you did too, right, Krista? Did you stick around for that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a really cool opportunity. I'm just so glad that, they came to Orlando, and I hope that they come back more often and do more events like this. There's a really pricey one coming up, right, Tony, in November? Yeah,
Destination D is coming up November 21st and 22nd. And, I'll be going to that. That's 2 full days of stuff like that. So it'll be really good.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. I would love to go.
Let's move on to the infotainment.
And now, the Disney Parks Podcast Infotainment segment.
And if you haven't been listening to our show, shame on you. But if you have, we've done the best things about the Magic Kingdom, the best things about Epcot, and now we're going to do the best things that we like about Disney's MGM Studio. That's right, I said MGM Studio. We're going retro. We're going back to the old days. And, that was an anniversary that was celebrated at the D23 event, so I thought I'd just throw that out there for this one. All right, Krista, do you have a number 1 on your list, or a number 10, or an item at all?
Yeah. Well, in no particular order. The first thing I wanted to share about is the do not pull the rope. So outside Indiana Jones Spectacular, there is an archaeological dig site with a sign that says, not to pull the rope, except the knot is crossed out. So it's fun to go and tug on that rope and just be, again, a rebel, a scandalous, person, and go pull on that rope, because it is put there for you to do that, even though it says, not to. And just see what happens, because that's one of my favorite things about Hollywood Studios, is always, showing this the first timers, and, the kids get a kick out of it and stuff like that. So that was the first one that I wanted to share.
Yeah, I pull it all, every time I walk past it, I pull it, and then everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. And then everybody goes and does the same thing.
Right.
So apparently I wasn't so crazy if you're going to go do it now.
If you don't know it's there, you'll walk right past it.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody so very cool.
Yeah,
What's your next?
Yeah, and I do like taking, anybody that I'm with, the first timers. And I don't even tell them. I just kind of like pull it and like, hey, what was that? Yeah, give it a shot. Number one on my list has to be Toy Story Mania. I'm a Toy Story crazed maniac fan, and I did not even really think about it, but Toy Story was celebrating an anniversary this year. I think, what was it, 25 years? It's quite an old movie. It's 25 years old. I feel old now. But this attraction is fantastic. It's got a lot of... The theming of the queue is foremost probably the best and fun thing about this attraction. I would tell you not to take the Fast Pass line, but you'd really have to spend a whole day in the standby line, probably 3 to 4 hours or maybe longer on a bad day to try and get through there. And the attraction's in 3D. It does go very quickly, but it is fun. It's a fun game for the whole family. You can see who beat who score, that kind of thing. I know there are Easter eggs in here, and I just wish I knew more of them to try and get a better score, but I'm going to have to take somebody that is a Disney Toy Story Mania expert to teach me the ropes. But yeah, give it a shot, Toy Story Mania.
Absolutely. It's definitely one of the best attractions in all of Walt Disney World. It's really, really great. So the next one I wanted to mention is Muppet Vision 3D, because it's been there forever. It's a classic, but it is probably one of my favorite things. If you go to Muppet Vision 3D, make sure you kind of look around. The waiting area outside this attraction is full of like little jokes and secrets. For one thing, they have a sign that says they'll be back in 5 minutes and the key is under the mat. And I haven't done this in a while, so I'm hoping it's still there. But if you look under the map, you'll actually see the little key. So you definitely want to do that. And then also, if you look up at the ceiling while you're waiting for the movie, kind of in the pre-show part, you'll see a net that's hanging from the ceiling, and it's got, what's supposed to be blocks of Jell-O in this net. So if you think about that, it's a net full of Jell-O, which sounds a lot like Annette Funicello, and that's on purpose. They did that, kind of as a Fozzie Bear kind of joke, I guess. So Muppet Vision's fun. It's air conditioned. There's rarely too much of a wait, and even if there is, you've got that pre-show there. It's great. It's definitely one of my favorite things in the park. Do you like Muppet Vision?
Yeah, I do. I do like it. It's a little short. I like the old guys, the old curmudgeon guys up in the balcony. They're my favorite.
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
But there is a lot of stuff in that queue. I've even not gone in and just kind of hung out in that queue area trying to look at everything. There's a lot to take in there. Next on my list is the reason that there is a Florida. And it's Walt Disney One Man's Dream. I think it's sponsored by D23, by the way. I love this. I wish they rotated the things in here a little bit more frequently. I guess as a local, I see it more. People that get to come once a year. There is things in there that are great. You get a real sense of who Walt Disney is, why he built the things he did, how they got built. You get a little history, get a little education. There's, Walt Disney's formal office in there. There's a table he used to draw on, a drawing table. There are things from, all kinds of old kind of Mickey Mouse Club artifacts. You can hear Walt speak in a couple things. You can hear some of Roy's dedication speech when the park opened in 71. So it's really a great place. And then to top it all off, you get a movie at the end, which is air conditioned, and you get to hear Walt's story. It's a must-do for any person that goes to the park period. Because without Walt, there is no Walt Disney World, there is no Disneyland, there's nothing. It's a great chance to learn a little bit about the person that built all this.
It really is, and I feel like for us, Tony, maybe have you been to the Walt Disney Family Museum before?
No, I have not.
I almost feel like it's a little slice of that. Like, if this must be kind of what it's like to be there. So just very special, to me, it's kind of, a touching, sentimental thing. It's great. I love that too. Another one of my favorites is the Great Movie Ride. And to me, I mean, people roll their eyes and like, oh, it's been there forever, it's old or whatever. I love this attraction. Again, it might have a lot to do with the air conditioning and just the relaxing aspect of the whole thing. But if one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, just so you can look for this the next time you're on the Great Movie Ride, it actually, you'll go past that iconic airport goodbye scene that's in Casablanca. And what you'll see there is, Humphrey Bogart saying goodbye to the lady that plays Ilsa. I forgot her name. Ingrid Bergman. Is that her name? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So them two, you'll see them next to the front half of a real airplane as you go by in the attraction. So when building the attraction, the Imagineers set out to acquire the same type of airplane used in that movie. And by an incredible stroke of luck, there's actually a really good chance that is the actual airplane used in the movie. So while most of that famous scene was actually shot on a scale model airplane in the background, the scene ends with footage of the real Lockheed Electra 12A taking off. It's very likely the exact same plane that you see there in the Great Movie Ride. So, but if you'll notice, it's only the front half of the plane. And Tony, do you know where the back half of the plane is?
In the back lot?
Close. It's the back half of the plane is actually the one you see on the Jungle Cruise as you go by. It's that doomed airplane that you go by in your little Jungle Book. So there you go. The front and the back half of the actual plane from Casablanca. There's a little hidden secret in the Great Movie Ride you can look at and point out to your friends the next time you ride it.
I wonder what they're going to do with all the things in the backlot tour.
That's a good question.
They'll put them in that room that we saw, that we took a tour of.
Yeah, the prop shop.
The prop shop. Including the plane. They'll just stuff it in there. Walt Disney's plane, they'll cram it in there. Yeah, that's a good thing. A lot of people say, it should be updated because kids today don't know what any of the movies are in there. It might be true, but they probably don't know Casablanca or, any of the older films. John Wayne, they probably go, who's he? What rap video is he in? Yeah, sorry. It's not. All right. Next on my list, I think I'll put another attraction, and I'm going to say the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I love this thing. I can ride this thing all day long. And, when I was a cast member, I worked the 3 to 11 shift. And one day I went to the park early in the morning and just rode the Tower of Terror over and over and over and over again until it was time to go to work. I love this thing. And it was interesting, at the Faniversary, they were mentioning that it was going to be an elevator ride, and then when you came down to the bottom, when your last fall was down to the bottom, you would be shot out flat on your back then. And I thought that was quite interesting that they were going to have us land on our back.
Yeah.
I thought, well, that would have been weird. The lobby queue in this and the library are fantastic. And Mark Silverman, who's been on the show 2-3 times now, can point out all the crazy things that are themed there. And can say, oh, that was from this movie, that was from this show, that was from this episode. He knows all those things in there. And Mark lived here. We could probably do a whole tour with him of the Twilight Zone. Yeah. But the technology, I think we have one of the better ones because ours does that whole little traveling before it loads in the elevator shaft and then starts the jumping. I don't think everybody's has that same queue area. I don't think Paris does or Tokyo does, or I know Disneyland doesn't. Once you load and you go. So we have the extra benefit of this added fun to our Tower of Terror. That's why I like it.
It's really a technological marvel, and I love it too now because of Mark, because I always think of him as rewarding. And that story he tells about how when he went to audition for the Rod Serling voice, that all the other guys kind of overdid it and were a little bit ridiculous with theirs, but Mark just kind of pulled it back and was a little more subtle with his Rod Serling, accent or finesse or whatever, and he's the one that got the job. So it's really cool. Really, really awesome. I think the next one I wanted to mention is going to be, actually, it all goes back to food for me, the 50s Primetime Cafe. This is absolutely one of my favorite things at the park. Number one, you've got Dad's Tune-In Lounge. So you can go to the bar, and if you're, hopefully it's not too busy on the day you go, and then you can just sit right down at the bar, no reservation needed. And what do? I don't get liquor or, a rum and Coke, although those are probably great, and I may do that occasionally. Normally, I will go to the bar and order a peanut butter and jelly milkshake to go. They'll put it in a paper cup with a lid on it, so you can just walk around the park with your milkshake. So even without a reservation, that's a fun thing to do. Dad's Tune-In Lounge at 50s Primetime Cafe. Now, if you have time to stop and get a reservation and be seated, the atmosphere cannot be beat. The cast members are always hilarious and fun. They make your dinner very entertaining. I highly recommend the meatloaf. Is phenomenal. Really, really good. You actually do kind of feel like you're getting home cooking. The fried chicken is great. It's, it's Disney pricing, but it's really good food, and you're going to get full. That's absolutely one of my favorite things at Hollywood Studios, the 50s Primetime Cafe. I know you like it too, Tony. We've eaten there together. Yeah,
it's tough to get a reservation there too. Make sure you make it way ahead of time. And they will put your alcoholic drink in a paper cup for you to go too.
Okay.
It doesn't always have to be the peanut butter and jelly shake.
Good to know. All right.
You can have your drink to go. Let's see. Next on my list, I'm going to do a little entertainment kind of thing. The Citizens of Hollywood. This is probably one of my favorite places for, characters out in the street doing their little shtick. They have different variants. There's ones that work on Sunset Boulevard. There's ones that work on Hollywood Boulevard. The ones that work, almost just off of Hollywood. I don't know, characters or cast members, entertainers, let's call them, are fantastic. They don't break from their shtick. Even if you do, they don't. They're always, whoever they are, the policeman, the damsel in distress, whatever it is. But these people are hysterical. And I wish there was more of them. I wish they were in other places besides the front of the park. They'd be interested, like on the streets of America, by like the used guys store. There could be a whole shtick going on back there. But they're fantastic. And they don't run all day, so if you are there in the morning, make sure that you catch some of the stuff. I think they are now in the Times Guide and on the My Disney Experience app. You'll find the show times and the places. I think they just say, Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset Boulevard, and then the different times that they're available. But definitely catch these things. And if you have kids, get them up close, get them in front, because they love playing with the kids, and they have a good time. Check them out.
Yes, absolutely. It's great to see them, and I went there the other day and it just seemed like they were everywhere, which really made me happy because I love the streetmosphere, which is, what they call it out there or whatever. It really kind of makes you feel like you're in old Hollywood, which is what they want you to feel like when you walk in that park. And I think that the characters really add a lot to that. So definitely stop and look. If you see one come out and start doing their thing, they're really cool. I think the next one I wanted to mention is Jedi Training Academy. Now, for me in particular, I'm not really much of a Padawan myself, but I know this is really huge for a lot of people, and especially kids. Jedi Training Academy is a live show that they do right now on the Rebels stage in Hollywood Studios. Soon, we're hearing that it might be moving indoors, which would be wonderful. Right now, it's outdoors, and just know that what happens with this is your kids can actually borrow a lightsaber and Jedi robes from Disney, and they're going to get taught a routine set of sword fighting moves and stuff with their lightsabers. And so it's a lot of fun. You want to get the kids there right when the park opens, take them straight back there and get them signed up, because otherwise you probably won't get in. They do fill up really quick. And during Star Wars weekends, they let adults participate in the Jedi Training Academy. So if you haven't heard of this, definitely look into it, especially if you have little Star Wars fans in your family. You'll want to do the Jedi Training Academy. One of the coolest things about Hollywood Studios, and it is unique to that park for now anyway.
Next on my list, I'm going to say the Brown Derby. This is a good place for lunch, for dinner, or now for something in between, because they opened up the outside area where you can get a cocktail and some snacky snacks. This is also one place that you can do lunch. Well, it's not lunch. I think it's dinner with an Imagineer, or maybe it's lunch with an Imagineer. Yeah, and it's not that bad, the pricing for that event. And it is small. It's only, I think, up to 12 people can go into the bamboo room with the Imagineer.
We need to do that. I've never done it.
Yeah, I've done it. Actually, I'm looking at the signed plate that I got. You get a plate that says, dinner with Imagineer. It's got Sorcerer Mickey on it. And then the Imagineer, signs it for you.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, it is great. If you've never been there for lunch or dinner, give it a try. It is a signature dinner place, but the food is fabulous. I've never gone out of there with a bad meal. The chopped salad is world famous. If you've never had an original, this is the original Brown Derby kind of recipe that Disney does of the famous chopped salad. And it's fantastic. Everything on there, from bacon to cheese to egg to, God, I don't even know everything that's on the chopped salad. It's huge. But it is filling, and it is delicious. They have lots of other good things, and the desserts are famous. Now, I remember back in the day, there used to be like a piano and entertainment in there. Unfortunately, that is gone, but it is still a great place, to have lunch or dinner. The one thing I wish they had is inside, there is a bar, but it's more of a service bar for the waiters and waitresses. It's not really a place you can go and sit and have drinks. That you have to do outside on their their patio veranda. I wish this place did have an inside lounge, because it would be a great place for a lounge.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay, so the next one I wanted to mention really quick is Rock and Roller Coaster. Now, this attraction opened on July 30th, 1999, and it has a high-speed launch. You actually go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. This is the only part that scares me about this ride, where it makes me kind of a little nervous, not like Thunder Mountain, where I just run to get on that one. I'm super excited. This one, I'll go on it, but I'm a little bit fearful, only because of that takeoff part, which everybody else seems to love. But this attraction has 3 inversions, 2 rollover loops, and 1 corkscrew. These are all firsts for a Walt Disney World attraction. Really, really cool. And of course, they've got that specially recorded Aerosmith soundtrack, and you get to hear that, while you're riding. That actually comes to you out of more than 120 speakers. It's loud, but it's awesome. And it's, 5 Gs. The track is like a half-mile long. It's just a wonderful, unique experience. I love the darkness of the ride. I love the neon, and, that feeling that you're just racing around in a long stretch limousine. And the pre-show in the beginning is fun. They have a chicken exit, which I may have used once or twice. If you get on the ride and you just want to see, you just want to see the pre-show or whatever, and you get in line, you don't necessarily have to ride. You can wait with your party and then exit, right before they go and take off. So this one has a photograph too. You can do the whole photo experience on here. I wonder how long it'll be before they start offering the video too. That would be neat. But if you like thrill rides, you definitely want to check out Rock and Roller Coaster. It's pretty awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good attraction. Not really a favorite of mine lately, but still a good attraction. All right, so next I'm going to mention Fantasmic. Now, I love this, except for the part of getting into the theater and getting out of the theater. It always seems like this mad body-crushing, 8 million people pushing and shoving to try and get the best seat possible. It's not a bad seat. And if you sit close, you're going to get wet. So there you go. The closer you sit, the wetter you're going to get. Especially if the wind is blowing towards the bleachers. Then you're really going to get wet. But the show is crazy. Now that they've replaced all the lights with LED lights, have you seen this lately, Krista?
Fantastic. Oh, yes. So it's been a while. Goodness. When did they install what you're talking about?
I think they did it right around the time or just before they put in the lighting ears. I can't even think of them.
Okay, so then beautiful.
Yeah, and it's well, unfortunately it can cancel because of weather. So if it is rainy, if you're here during the summer and it's kind of still the rainy season, they will cancel it. But it is a fantastic show. There's a lot of characters that you'll see. Most of them are real. I love when they light the lagoon on fire. There's nothing like water being on fire. I love that effect. That's kind of crazy, to see water on fire. And there's nothing like seeing your pal Mickey on the top of a mountain with, 2 fire sticks shooting out of his hand.
Yes, and Jafar turns into a snake, and it's just very dramatic and, really spectacular. Just wonderful. And you got to kind of take the time to see it. You got to be on purpose about it because it's not every night, and it's the times kind of switch around. So just be aware of that when you're planning your next visit. Try to catch Fantasmic if you can.
Now I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but you used to be able to go online, order a meal, and then pick it up in one of the restaurants and take it into the show. If that's available, do that, because that's another reason maybe if you have kids to do the early show, because then you can bring a little box lunch, box dinner in with you. If not, there are some stands where you can get some hot dogs and I think French fries and some things in the back there too. Popcorn, cotton candy, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you can make a meal out of it back there, but I think you can at least have something to eat or something to keep the kids busy back there too. Typically during the summer there's 2 shows. There's an early show. That's the one all the kids and the families go to. And then there's a later show that, the adults go to. Typically. But they are both usually very crowded.
So you want to arrive really early if you can, but don't worry, it's okay, because what happens is you end up getting some nice quality family time where you're just kind of sitting and waiting. I'll see the little boys playing with Matchbox cars on the metal benches and stuff. So bring your little boys Matchbox cars, and the time will go by fast. It's not that long. You'll have time to catch up with your family and talk and just kind of sit there. And if you're early for the show, it's just a nicer experience, I think. Well, I think I want to stop there because we're getting kind of late, but why don't you go through whatever else you have left?
Let's see, what did I have? I had Art of Animation, and at the anniversary they showed a great little video of Robin Williams and Walter Cronkite.
Yes.
Which was fun to see that again, which they used to play there, but we don't get that whole thing now. Pizza Planet is a great place for your Toy Story fans. You get some pizza. There is an arcade there, so be warned, adults, because your kids are probably going to want to play something at some time. But good place to just go inside, get some air conditioning, grab some pizza. And the last thing is another kind of live action show is The Voyage of the Little Mermaid. And it's kind of puppetry with people, with a good story. Just a good show to see. And if you like that movie, you can have all the songs to sing along with the kids. So it's a good little show. I like that show.
I love it too. Yeah. Yeah, and there's so much at Hollywood Studios, and if you arrive early in the morning, you can get a lot of it done. It's not, I think you can cover pretty much all of the high points and book a really nice dinner at Hollywood Brown Derby or whatever, and just make a day out of it that way. It's a great park. There's lots to check out and see and do for everybody. Take time for Hollywood Studios. It's going to be a lot different, coming up. There's going to be a lot of changes going on there. So right now it's still very retro and kitschy in some places, and to me, I'm just going to be absorbing all that and cherishing all that while we can. It's a living, breathing thing. All the Disney parks are, and it's always exciting to have a change, but you do want to kind of appreciate the stuff that is going to be changing. So hopefully you can come back soon and check it all out. I think that about does it for us today, Tony. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. We'd love hearing from you. Send us a Facebook, an email, a Twitter. We want to see you and say hello. So, do all that. Visit us and we will see you in the parks.